Hey, welcome back everyone. We are just a couple of months away from D23 and Disney Plus in general, which is when we're going to get a lot more announcements related to Star Wars TV shows and Star Wars lore, such as the books, the novels, and the comics, etc. That's really going to lend a lot of credit to what Favreau and Filoni are currently building from the ground up to really deliver this very specific experience to the Star Wars fans around the globe. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you also very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing about the new Star Wars universe is that a lot of fans have been very skeptical about what, of course, is going to happen after Star Wars Andor, or even with Star Wars Andor at that. Now, given that Favreau and Filoni have a lot of creative influence on everything after Star Wars Andor, that really does show a light at the end of the tunnel. Of course, the only projects that Kathleen Kennedy has full creative power over now is simply Skeleton Crew, whereas the Acolyte, as we discussed, has been split apart basically 50-50, half and half. 5 episodes went over to Favreau and Filoni to call the shots, as well as Lucas, and the other 4 actually Kathleen Kennedy has control over. So just about a 50-50 split there of who has creative control over that show. Now, moving beyond all of this, there's been a lot of changes that have been happening by Lucas, by Favreau, for, of course, a lot of things related to Kathleen Kennedy's input into the Star Wars universe, and exactly what's been going on behind the scenes for, specifically, the Acolyte TV show. Now, one thing about George Lucas is that he knows how Star Wars works. I mean, this is the guy that really made Star Wars back in 1977. He knows the philosophy of it all, and they are making major tweaks to one of the big Kathleen Kennedy projects. Now, with both Disney and Lucasfilm getting ready to announce new Star Wars shows at both D23 and Disney Plus Day, creators Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are also prepared to share the stage, revealing their plans for the future of the franchise. Now, it's described, however, that just recently many problems have been developing with the Acolyte series between Kathleen Kennedy, George Lucas, and Jon Favreau. Since both Favreau and Filoni took over 5 out of the 9 episodes, Kathleen Kennedy is still creatively involved with the other 4. However, recently George Lucas decided to erase a large part of the Acolyte series since he and Jon now have control over a big percentage of the show. One big story that Lucas recently had Leslie Headland erase from the story involves the story of the new Jedi God character that was created by the Whills. Now, before Lucas and Favreau stepped in, Kennedy was moving with a story that focused on a Jedi God, essentially a Jedi that was created by the godlike beings that created the Star Wars galaxy. Part of the Acolyte was going to focus on this character for 5 episodes straight, to which Lucas and even now Jon stepped in to replace it with something else to initiate rewrites by Leslie Headland. Now, though Lucas and Favreau are not writing the show, they have a lot of creative control over the Acolyte and forced Leslie Headland to also drop the story of the knockoff version of the Whills. Originally, Kathleen Kennedy took one of George's ideas and created her own version of the Whills that created, of course, the Jedi God character. Now, this way, she had full freedom over the use of these new characters, all of which have now been erased by Lucas, as they will be focusing on the Whills and other Star Wars shows out there, and did not want them to appear in the Acolyte series. So let me just pause here quick for a second before we move on to the more advanced material, is that everything related to the Acolyte series so far, even before, Lucas and Favreau took over, a lot of fans have remained very skeptical over it, and rightfully so. There's a lot of major reasons as to why a lot of fans remain skeptical about this, is because it is indeed a Kathleen Kennedy project. Now, at least there is some improvement making its way through to the Acolyte series, because you have Favreau and Filoni getting involved, as well as George Lucas mainly, really calling the shots on how this really should be directed, how this should really gain its own vision by Lucas, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're telling Leslie what to do with those 5 episodes. So they're not writing this, but they are telling her what to do and exactly what kind of path to go through with the actual story and what works and what doesn't work. And I think that's one of the greatest things of all right now about the Acolyte series is that it has a shot. It has a shot at becoming a decent show. Again, like I say, if it remains as is with 4 whole episodes that are going to be creatively done by Kathleen Kennedy, letting Leslie Headland to do exactly what she wants to do, you're most likely going to have a show that's going to feel half and half, where it's going to be very mixed and it's going to feel very off in different tones. That's why I think the best case scenario would be to just get rid of Kathleen Kennedy off of this project and leave it be and leave it up to Lucas and Favreau approving and not approving what Leslie Headland is doing with the script. So, moving from all of this, this is where things begin to pick up quite a bit here, alright? Is that additionally, this also led to a point in time where both George and John had to actually change and revise the script, that Leslie Headland, of course, was fixing the characters like Darth Revan and Nihilus in the series. Kathleen Kennedy behind the scenes is said to be very furious over these revisions that they made to these actual episodes that they have creative power over, and that they are not stopping there with the changes being made, as more are coming in the next couple of weeks. So just be aware that a lot more changes are coming in the next couple of days to weeks as well, to really change more of the episodes of the Acolyte series. I mean, let's not forget, they have a lot of creative power now, over 5 whole episodes. And I really don't see this releasing in 2023. I just don't. And we're going to get into that in just a second. The reason being has a lot to do with the fact that a lot of revisions are being made. It's going to involve some rewrites here and there, some tweaking, things getting cut out of the script. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it even gets dwindled down to 8 episodes. If they have to take a whole episode out, I would not be surprised about that. But so far, this show has had a lot of production issues. It was supposed to begin filming in May, alright? Even Kathleen Kennedy confirmed this, and they had to really delay the process, and now they're not filming until November, officially speaking. However, this is where things begin to pick up quite a bit, is that on top of all of that, Disney executives are more confident with the Acolyte now, since Favreau and Lucas were able to step in and call the shots on many of the new episodes that were being worked on. Lucas and Favreau also made the call to have John Williams' music be used for the series that originally Kathleen Kennedy did not want to use. Already, Lucas and Favreau are trying to find ways to insert Yoda properly into the story of the Acolyte in order to build more hype for the series that may or may not turn into a multi-season show. So just be aware that initially, Kathleen Kennedy wanted nothing to do with John Williams' music making its way into the Acolyte, now of which it will be. Now, that does not mean that John Williams is going to be coming back as a composer or making new music, but it's that Favreau and Filoni are allowing past musical scores by Williams to be used in this new series. Honestly, I wouldn't be all that surprised if we get Duel of the Fates or Battle of the Heroes or anything like that, similar to what they did with the Old Republic. You guys may very well remember that they used prequel trilogy music in the Old Republic cinematics for that video game, and it worked so very well. It worked so amazingly well. And they could do the same exact thing with the Acolyte if it does fit the cinematography, without a doubt. So overall, guys, I think that what John and Dave are doing here also is that they really are trying to regulate the Acolyte so that they can begin filming this thing as soon as possible and to just get it out to the fans. But overall, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys have to say about this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No hiding from night to moon.